Thank you for tuning into the Model Connection podcast. I am your host, Eric Harrell. Please like, follow, and subscribe on social media and everywhere you get your podcast. Links are in the description. With us today is a very special guest.
Hey guys, my name is Breanna Boyd. I'm a 3-time published professional model from Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm so happy to be here on the Model Connection podcast.
Hello, Breanna. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm so glad to have you here. Okay, now you live in Lawrenceburg, correctly?
Yes,
Correct?
sir.
So that is not exactly the modeling mecca of the state, is it?
Not at all. A whole lot of traveling.
A lot of your modeling assignments come from what direction?
Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville, Huntsville?
Yeah, straight from Nashville.
Okay. Now, as I ask any and every model, what got you started in modeling?
You know what? Honestly, it was never really a big dream for me. My mom I was going through a really difficult time in my life. I think everybody around me was really. She looked at me and she was like, Breanna, you could model. And I let that roll right off my shoulder. I was like, no, I couldn't. Yeah, and so she told me that. And I guess part of it stayed with me a little bit because whenever I was alone, I got on my phone and I started to put in little kind of like applications for auditions.
Yes.
I started to put in online.
Yes.
And that's how I got started. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So.
And I was only 15.
Only 15. Okay, now, at that time in your life, what was your perception of modeling?
Like a lot of people's perception is when they don't have much knowledge on the industry.
Okay.
I was like, models are just a bunch of rich people who don't care about anybody but themselves. I was guilty to that mindset.
Okay.
Yeah, I was very guilty to that mindset.
Wow.
But it's changed quite a bit.
That was going to be my next question. Your perception of modeling 3 years ago and your perception of modeling now. How has it changed, if it has?
Oh, it most definitely has.
Tell me about it.
It's funny because like all of the description that I gave from 3 years ago is not me. None of that is me. But however, my perception of it now is it's more of an artistic view.
Okay.
You can express just one photo can speak 1,000 words.
Yes, it can.
And it's more of an artist. I have more of an artistic view towards modeling now. It's much more than, oh, she's pretty and she thinks she's great at everything she does. You know, it's much more than that. There's a thought process and you bring that vision to life. Because every photo I've ever taken, it's consisted of me sitting at home, picturing an outfit, picturing, a place to take the photo, what I want to convey in that image. It's a lot of planning, having a vision, and bringing it to life. So yeah, it's more of an artistic thing for me.
In all of the genres of modeling, how do you classify your brand?
I am a commercial model. I do a whole lot of promotional as well. And, I would just say commercial and, promotional.
What is it about commercial and promotional modeling that really intrigues you, that really spikes your interest?
Well, that's my brand as of right now. I would say personally my favorite type of modeling would be runway.
Okay.
But I actually have a modeling coach, and her name is Lola Shell. You can check her out on Instagram. But she taught me that the first thing to do if you're wanting to be successful in the modeling industry is to find your niche and what you are good at.
Right.
Based on the industry standards. So, like, technically, I'm less likely to book a job in runway as somebody who is 5'8", or like my measurements aren't, technically what's preferred in the industry as of right now, which is I'm hoping changes for everybody. I hope it becomes more inclusive.
Okay, now, if I may interrupt you, in my mind, I'm envisioning a runway model right now. How come you feel like you don't measure up to them?
Oh, okay. So here's the thing. So
Okay,
in the industry,
yeah,
height is a big thing for runway, which is I'm almost there. I'm almost there, but
you're
that
what 5?
7.
I
So
thought 5'7" was the industry standard. Has it grown up now?
I mean, kind of, yeah. They're more likely they're wanting to go for a little bit taller individuals, and my
Wear higher heels.
measurements.
Wear higher heels.
I guess I'm gonna have to do that.
Yeah.
My measurements also are not necessarily like the slimmest. It's not size 0 to 2. It's more of like 6 to 8. So yeah, it's getting more inclusive. The industry in general is getting more inclusive, and I have lots of respect for that.
There are
But
runway shows for all types of clothing. Okay, so
these days there is, yeah.
don't let one stereotype set you back. Okay, it's just nah.
Yeah.
You can do it if you want to. Just get out there, beat
Oh
the
yeah,
bushes.
I definitely and I have. I'm just saying it's like a little bit more difficult for the because a lot of the people that are over the industry are a little bit older and they still have that the mindset. And
Yeah,
it's all
okay.
about changing the mindset.
Yeah, I
Which
fit that
is
category. Okay.
yeah. Which is I still do runway. Don't get me wrong, I still do runway, but just not as often. And I love nothing beats taking pictures. Like
Right.
nothing beats that. So that I mean, it's a close tie. But when it comes to the industry in general, I feel like I belong more in commercial or promotional. Like I love working with smaller businesses. That's my thing. Shooting for smaller businesses to advertise.
Your mom and pop's clothing store, flower shops, stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, small businesses are my favorite to work with.
When you are in front of a camera, do you allow yourself to be in this fairyland type of world where okay, I'm this, I'm
Yeah,
I,
sometimes you have to put yourself into character.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Sometimes you have to put yourself into a character. Um, the last thing you want to do when you're in front of the camera is be uncomfortable and
true,
and just
true,
look like you're stiff, look like you're kind of lost, that's normal when you first begin. Like for the beginner models, it's totally normal. But
yes.
that's the last thing that you want to feel. If anything, just let go.
In your posing, how did you learn how to pose?
I actually attended, this is totally optional. For the newbies, also, I recommend knowing the difference between like an agency and a training program
And
because they have some of those in Nashville training programs.
and that is, tell me the difference.
Okay, so sometimes those training programs they do have agencies attached with them, but you never have to pay to join an agency.
Right.
Which is for training, of course, yeah, you've got to pay to get some knowledge. So I guess just don't get those confused is what I'm saying. But I did go to like a training program and that's where they taught me everything that I do know.
Okay.
They had people guiding me during photo shoots, teaching me the right poses, how to feel comfortable, how to let loose. I kind of got all that instruction from them.
Have you ever seen a pose in a magazine or pose on any media pages and gone in front of your bedroom mirror, your wall mirror, and just practiced?
All the time. That's the only way you can get it down. Yeah, that's the only way you can get it down.
Yes, it is.
Just,
That's the only way.
Just stare at yourself in the mirror
Yeah.
until you get it right. Like
And then you go from one pose to another very quickly, very effortlessly, okay?
Oh yeah, that's preferred is to make it look effortlessly. But I mean, hey, movement is key in front of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Just move in, of course, ways that flatter your body, but just move as much as you possibly can.
Back when I was photographing models, I always wanted the model to make eye contact with the camera.
Yeah.
Uh, some do, some don't. It's just a personal preference, okay?
It is a preference. I always like to mix the shots around. Like, of course, I'll get some directly staring at the camera, but then I'll also, look away, do some looking down, just a bit of everything.
Has your modeling come easy to you, or has it been hard?
Hard. Yeah, and it's different for every model. It's different for everybody.
Tell me.
Well, I mean, some people they might feel like it comes more natural to them.
Okay.
And I was not one of those people. For me, it's like I had to constantly study and constantly practice and, like you said, standing in front of your mirror to try to get right.
Yes.
That there was a whole lot of that for me. It didn't come as naturally. Of course, everybody's life is different obstacles in life that might prevent them from, getting further, and that was how mine was.
What has been the hardest part about modeling for you?
Honestly, when I say this, I'm not speaking for all models because, everybody's
Only
different.
you and I are here talking. This is your opinion only, okay?
Yeah, my opinion only.
Yes.
The most difficult thing to me is, I would have to say, the emotional aspect. The emotional health, because it's so easy to compare yourself to other beautiful and amazing people. It's so easy to.
Why do you do that?
Oh, it's because you lose focus of what you're doing. Whenever you're modeling, you need to have the mindset of, I'm beautiful the way that I am.
Yes.
I'm marketing myself as a unique and original product that cannot be copied because, that's the truth. Like, there's no one else that walks, talks, acts like you.
Right.
And it's easy to lose focus. It's easy to lose that mindset. But you always have to find yourself back at it at the end of the day, or, it's gonna bother you.
I did not understand that aspect of modeling until I started doing this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
There has been so many models come on here that they say one thing that really is in the industry that is not talked about enough is mental health.
It's not. Yeah, and I had plans.
And I am just, what?
Yeah, and I
Talk to me
had
about
plans
this.
today. I promised myself today that when I came in here, that mental health was going to be something that I talked about.
You've got free reign to talk about anything you want to, okay?
Yes, sir.
If mental health is one thing that you feel should be brought up, hey, we're going to talk about it, all right?
Oh, no, yeah, I was determined to talk about it. And, like, if any model listening that's new or even maybe has been in the industry for a while, if you feel like you need somebody, my DMs are always open. But it's, like I said, not speaking for all models. Only some of us, go through that.
Right. Is it because, or is it pressure that we photographers put on you? Or is it pressure other models put on you? Or just pressure you put on yourself?
It's pressure you put on yourself. And I wouldn't say any other models do it because all they're doing is doing their job.
Okay.
So it's definitely a self-inflicted thing. It's definitely, I wouldn't say, nobody has ever made me feel anyway. It's always been, it's always been myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Is there anything that we as a photographer could do to help you?
Honestly, not really. It's just, it's a self problem.
It's your own personal battle that you got to fight by yourself.
It's a personal battle, which honestly, it sucks. But like I said, you just have to learn to market yourself. Like, the one thing that I'm insecure about are my eyes. Like, I'm so insecure about my eyes. But that one thing about me books me jobs.
See?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's that realization. You have to hit that realization that the things that make you so different from everybody else is what is going to get you jobs. It's that's what's going to stand out about you.
Yes. Use that to your best advantage, okay?
Oh, yeah. I am. Because I'm like, just me to myself, oh, my eyes are so big. But then to a creative director, I need someone with beautiful, big eyes that are going to stand out.
Yes.
Yeah, see how that ties together.
We all have a vision when we come up with a project that we are doing. We all have a vision of a specific type of model that we want for the project.
Yeah.
Your trait, your eyes, it may be what we are wanting, okay?
Yeah, and I've ran into several of those, where it's like, what stood out about me, why I booked you was your eyes. And I was like, Well, looky there.
See, you don't have to be 5'8".
No, modeling is a safe space, and I say that because it's good for people who who might not feel like they have who might feel like they're awkward or something,
Mm-hmm.
or they don't fit in anywhere. Modeling is for everybody, and you can model any. I mean, if you have the dream of doing it, then you can. Like, there's a place here for everybody.
If you want to hard enough and try hard enough, yes.
Yeah, yeah. It's all about drive.
Knowing now what you know about modeling, would you have still done this or tried this 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Wow.
I would because of the people I've met from it. That's my favorite part of it all, is because, like I said, I've traveled a lot because Lawrenceburg doesn't provide.
No, it doesn't.
And Lawrenceburg does not provide for the industry. So with all the traveling and all the jobs that I've booked, I've met so many great people.
Mm-hmm.
So many. Modeling is one of the places that has made me feel accepted out of anything I've ever done in life.
Awesome answer.
Yeah.
That leads me to this question that I have asked a few models. What has your modeling taught you about yourself that you did not already know?
That I'm too hard on myself.
In what way?
Like
Your eyes again?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, this has been a battle. It's been a battle for how, I've always struggled with, because I mean, growing up, I wasn't the most conventionally attractive one out of the bunch. And it's funny how the tables have turned.
Uh-huh.
It's funny how the tables have turned a little bit. But yeah, I would have to say it's taught me that, not to be so hard on myself, because like I said, and I've stuck to this entire podcast, is what makes you different is what's
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. In my family, I was like
Yes.
the least attractive one, like conventionally.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I was
Yeah.
as a kid, I just like I wasn't the
Tomboy.
yeah mega. I'm talking basketball shorts to school every day. That was my school outfit, was basketball shorts. Maybe every now and then I'd wear a sequin skirt or something, but it was mostly basketball shorts, a bowl cut haircut. Yeah. So not what you would think as like the model top.
Okay, and now look what you have turned into.
I know, it's funny. It's really funny to look back on. It's really funny.
You have accomplished, I feel, so much in 3 years' time. You've been published. And not everyone can actually say that. Where do you want your modeling to take you in the next year?
Honestly, this is gonna sound crazy,
No,
and
it's
I bet you don't get this answer quite often.
Okay,
but
try me.
I'm taking everything as it goes.
Okay.
I have no final destination point I want to arrive to. I'm just taking everything as it goes. Every opportunity that I'm like, thank you, God, and then I take it. But I don't think I have an ending spot. I'm just gonna keep working.
At what point or at what juncture, what would it be that you can accomplish that you will say, I have made it. I am a model.
I mean, maybe being on a billboard in New York City.
Okay.
Maybe that would be a point. But even after that, I would be like, gotta push harder. Gotta get on to the next milestone. That's just how I am. My dad's the same exact way.
Okay, great. Always reach for the next step.
The next step.
Your 3 years of modeling, what has been the thing that you most enjoy about it?
This ties back to meeting people. I have met some of my bestest friends through modeling.
Okay.
And I would not take it back for anything. Other than the experience, it's definitely meeting people.
Has modeling come to you now like it's just second nature? I know what I'm doing. I can go from one pose to another.
Yeah.
Just bam, 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 bam.
Yeah,
okay.
and it's just from doing it so much from the time spent. Like, at one point, it was literally my entire life. Like, it's all I did every day.
Are you able to inject your creative vision into a photo shoot, or does a photographer say, okay, this is what I want, this is what we're going to be doing, yada, yada, yada? Have you been able to interject your ideas into any shoots?
Honestly, my sister is a photographer. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so she's a photographer, and then my oldest sister, she makes clothes. So it's like we have this we have this little industry family.
That's your own little company right
Yeah.
there, huh?
We have a little industry family, but my sister that's a photographer,
Yes.
like sometimes she'll imagine, come up with a vision for something.
Yes.
And then other times it's me, or then sometimes we go in and we envision something together. It's totally, you never know. My eyelash is sticking, sorry. You never know who's going to come up with the vision. But a lot of the times, yes, my thought is put into what we do.
Your outfits. Are you a Goodwill shopper for your modeling outfits?
You know what's actually really funny about that? Do you want to guess how much my outfit costs?
I'm not going to dig myself a hole I cannot get out of, okay?
No,
I know better than that.
Free range, how much do you think it costs?
I'm going to get so ridiculed for this. Okay, now if you got that at Goodwill, a blazer, skirt, top, 5, 3, 8, $15.
Less than that. I thrifted this all yesterday for $1.10.
What?
Not even kidding you. Not even kidding you.
Who did you rob?
It's a children. Have you
Who'd
ever
you
heard
mug?
Have you ever heard of Children's Closet?
I may have.
It's in Lawrenceburg, and I got
Okay,
this for
well.
$1.10.
$1.10,
Yeah.
a blazer, skirt, and top.
You already know I'm a thrifter. I love to thrift.
$1 and a dime.
Now, some of the photos I don't remember. Whenever you put them up,
Yeah.
I'll be able to tell you.
Okay.
But yeah, I thrifted this entire outfit yesterday.
So you can model on a budget, okay?
Absolutely. I'm not rich at all. Nothing wrong with being rich, but I'm definitely not it.
I've had so many models that I've worked with that after I tell them the concept that I want to shoot and the outfit I want them to have, the first thing they'll say is, okay, I'm off to Goodwill. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I love, there's nothing better though. I mean, especially if it's on a time crunch, because if you want to get the photo shoot done quicker,
Yes.
it's a whole lot easier than waiting for it to arrive on your doorstep from ordering it online.
And then you also learn that one size does not fit all.
No.
Even if you order your size, it may not fit, okay?
No. Yeah, it's better just to go and thrift it. I love thrifting. I will always recommend thrifting.
Did you have a mentor that you looked up to, or did you have someone that you could talk to, ask questions?
Yes, I did. What's cool is about the training program that I attended, I actually was schooling with multiple people that were my age or even older. So it's like we all grew together and we all were curious about the same things. We all had the same questions. So I grew with them, together. And then, of course, I had, like, my mentors, the people who had, guided me in everything that I'd done at that school. And then my modeling coach, Lola Shell. All of those people have tremendously helped me in where I'm at today, for sure.
Would you say a good way for a newbie to get started would be to model classes or what?
Yeah, I mean, it helped me. It helped me without a doubt. But just know that it's not necessarily something that you have to have.
Okay.
It's an option because you don't have to have classes to be successful. Because honestly, you can, like, I'm a freelance right now.
Okay.
And, like, some of the jobs that I find, agencies are giving to people. So it's like there's nothing that you have to have in order to be successful. But for me, it was a tremendous help because I was super shy at first. Believe it or not. I
Yeah.
was really, really shy. And that entire schooling process, which was 2 years, that was 2 years of schooling, it broke me out of my shell and helped create a more improved version of myself for sure. Yeah. So I mean, I do recommend it, but it's not necessarily something you have to have.
Okay, you were nice enough to bring some images with you. So let's have them up on the monitor and let's talk about them, okay?
That is my sister that we were talking about.
Okay, okay.
So she had just bought a new light and it changed and flipped through colors. I don't know the technical name for that. But like I said, all I do is just stand there and do my thing.
So
But
you were the test model.
yes, I'm a test model for her on a lot of her things. She had just got a new lot and we were wanting something more streetwise for
Okay.
the aesthetic.
Okay.
It was more streetwise, and I was wearing like a romper. You can't really see it in that photo, but it's one of my favorite shots from that shoot.
Yeah.
It was more of a street style, and the makeup you can kind of see is more of like, it's kind of casual, but it's also kind of grunge, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I tried to really. Oh, another thing. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
go
like,
ahead,
so
yes.
many thoughts are running through my head
Go
right
right
now.
ahead. Go right ahead.
I was talking to my friend the other day about my eyes, and she pulled up this photo on my Instagram, and she was like, just look at your eyes. She was like, that's what makes you so you. Like, you wouldn't be you if you had any other eyes. And I was like, that is so sweet. But anyways, yeah, that photo, that's basically what we're going for. More of a grungy street style. Oh yeah, we had a lot of thought into that as well. What we did with that is we took a white sheet outside,
Yes.
and this was actually in my backyard, and we used all the light in that photo is natural lighting. She
Okay.
didn't use anything besides her editing tools. She didn't
And
use
now with
any.
your eyeshadow, eye makeup, yes.
Yeah.
I can see the eyes now, okay?
Yeah, I did my makeup that day, actually. See, like, for most of these photos, I actually did my own makeup. Oh, that one's so cool. That was taken at the square, and honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I did not have any vision at all for this.
Okay.
No. There was no vision put in for this at all, besides casual, because my clothing is casual. The square is a casual place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And my sister, she was like, okay, now kneel down. Whenever photographers like yourself, you get a vision in your head, oh, this would look really good.
Mm-hmm.
She told me to get down like that. And I do, if you know me, like I always, like personally, if you know me, I always do this little thing. I call it my headache pose. My family says it looks like I have a headache.
Oh, I declare. I declare.
That's what it looks like. I call it my I need Tylenol. Okay, but I threw
I
my
need
hand.
Tylenol photo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she told me to get down like that, and I just added my I need Tylenol pose to it, and perfect. That's what created the image.
Okay, now this is a totally different look for you now.
Oh yeah, for sure. My hair is brown in this. In the other ones, it was dyed blonde like it is right now.
Yeah.
But this was before I had it dyed. This was elegant. We went for elegant for this one.
Okay.
And it's pretty obvious just by the, it was also fall time. You can see the leaves in the back was like, it kind of,
Mm-hmm.
that's so perfect. But the leaves kind of correlate, or not correlate, but what is it called?
Okay. To me, the leaves add to the background.
Yeah.
It's a fall scene. You can tell what time of the year it was shot in. Even the leaves in the far, far background, the very top of them, you see are brown.
Right.
So you can tell that was in, I'll say, October, maybe
was.
even early November.
Yeah, it was in October.
This, to me, has got a classy, elegant look to it, yet casual.
Yes, that's perfect. That's a perfect way to sum it up. Yeah. It's one of my favorites, too.
I mean, you've got the sun. I take it. It's it's the sun, kind of like the golden hour sunlight.
I love my golden hour
So
photos.
that was it, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I mean, it is actually shining on your face. Great look. Eye makeup works. Your hat, it does not cause a shadow on your face. Um,
Yeah, which took forever for us to get a
see,
non-shadowy photo.
see. I would say of all of the images you brought with you, this is my favorite.
Thank you for your input.
We all have our own different
That
styles,
is true.
and and my style may not suit your um, your preference, your look, your style,
Yeah, everybody's different.
but bee photographers might. So that's why you should work with as many photographers as you possibly can.
Oh, yeah. Also, speaking of working with multiple photographers, and I'm sure there has been other models, on the podcast to say this because it's important. Don't, especially if you're underage, don't ever go alone to
True.
any shoots because where there is so many good photographers, safe photographers, there's so many of them, but there's also those every once in a while you'll get one that's just there's people who take advantage of others in their dreams sometimes. And so just be careful. If something doesn't feel right, don't go through with it. And I always recommend bringing somebody, no matter how old you are. Always bring somebody is my recommendation.
I am a very strong proponent of that. I've had models bring their brothers, their sisters, their parents, their grandparents, their best friend. I mean,
Yeah.
it's perfectly fine with me. Bring whoever you want. I don't care. Okay,
Right, because
as long as you are comfortable, I'm happy.
yeah, the world's a scary place. And, I personally, I trust you, but it's such routine for me now
Mm-hmm.
to always bring people where you go. It's like it's a routine thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I recommend building that
Okay.
routine for yourself.
Okay. I'm gonna give you just a few minutes to collect your thoughts here.
Okay.
But you had mentioned earlier that you want to bring up the mental health issue. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you. I'm going to give you the platform. This is your time to speak on mental health issue and tell the public what you feel needs to be said.
Yeah, and I'm more than happy to talk about it too. Like it's hard as someone who struggles with it. Can I go in depth, or is there
You
anything?
say whatever you feel you need to. Okay.
Okay, there's multiple effects that modeling can have on people if you're not mentally strong, and that's not. I'm not saying people who struggle with mental health are weak, but you have to have a really, really tough, emotional state. It's hard to be in the modeling industry because there's many effects to it. So personally, I know a lot of people, and it's not just myself. There's a lot of young women who struggle with eating disorders, because even though it may not seem like it, there's a lot of agencies, and I'm not gonna say any names, of course, but a lot of the bigger ones where it's like they'll have no fear in telling you you need to lose some pounds if you even want to think about being with us, or no, we can't take you because you don't have the look, and they insinuate that it's not that you don't have the look, it's just that you have extra pounds, or your body isn't as slim as they wish. Even though the industry is getting better, there are still those agencies because, I've and multiple people have experienced being told that. And it's awful because it's the body that you're born with. So immediately you're going to take it to heart. Even no matter how big of a business mindset you have, it's simple to take it to heart because, like I said, you're born with that body. It's the only body you got. And so a lot of young women that I know, they'll go to whatever extreme that they can because they're so dead set on becoming successful, they'll do whatever they can and they'll do whatever it takes. And my advice is that I can't just say not to take it serious because it's easier said than done, you know? But I mean, your health, your emotional health, your emotional well-being is more important than any casting call, is more important than any opportunity that there is. And it's one thing if it's, oh, you need to lose an inch around the waist. That's one thing. But to completely drop 50 pounds is an insane wish to ask for anybody, especially, I don't know, it just doesn't, I hope the industry changes, and that'll forever be my goal if I stay in the modeling industry, is to help be part of the generation that changes that for people, because for a long time it's just been a certain measurements get, the jobs.
Do models have to have everyone's um, acceptance of an image to make them feel good about themselves? Can they take
No.
somebody's a different opinion and still be okay with it?
Yeah. Yeah, I do that all the time. Yeah. It's just the way you say things, like if you're going to let somebody down and be like, "I'm sorry, you don't have the image or you don't have what we want for this certain vision for this job. I'm sorry." That's totally okay because it goes back to artistic vision. But then saying, "No, you need to lose 50 pounds or you need to have surgery of some sort to look a certain way," like to say that kind of stuff
Mm-hmm.
is just degrading. And I feel like that's where it loses its sense of professionalism. Like there's a right and a wrong way to say no to people.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, because I've taken so many no's. I'm a professional at
But you've
taking
also
no's.
probably taken quite a few yeses too. Okay.
That is true. That
so
is
it
true.
kind of balances out. Okay.
It balances out, and every model will experience that. It's okay to be told no. Like, because, it's just everybody has different visions and you just didn't fit it. And that's perfectly fine because one day you'll have a job that needs just what you've got. So, yeah, I mean, I don't need everybody's acceptance, and I don't think any other model needs everybody's acceptance either because, like I said, a lot of people who, like, they don't have knowledge on it, they automatically don't like models anyways. So, it's like we deal with that unacceptance.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's fair. I mean, we deal with no's, but we deal with yeses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is there any other item on the mental health issue that you want to bring to the forefront while we have this opportunity?
Other than saying that you're not alone and that if you need anything, um, DMs are always open. Like, I will answer so fast because I care. This is something I deeply care about, and I was so excited whenever you had let me come on
Mm-hmm.
here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I was so excited. I was like, I can finally talk about this. And so it's seriously my pleasure to be here.
Thank you so very, very much for saying that. So now, in closing, I want to ask you one more question. For the photographers that want to reach out to you after hearing and listening,
Yes.
watching this podcast, how may they reach you?
Instagram, Facebook, email, which is my email is on my Instagram. You can, hit in the bio, you can hit the email option. Literally,
Okay.
pretty much anywhere online, you can get a hold of me.
Breanna Boyd, you are just a breath of fresh air. I mean, I have thoroughly enjoyed this. This hour went by too blame soon, I
I
swear.
know, I loved this conversation. It was intense. We talked about, me as a person,
Yes.
individual. We talked about everything under the sun.
And to the photographers out there, this is just a beautiful young lady. 3 years in the business, she's just got a bright future ahead of her. Guys, ladies, Breanna Boyd, she should be your next model.
Thank you.
Breanna Boyd, thank you for being here.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you for tuning into the Model Connection podcast. Please like, follow, and subscribe on social media and everywhere you get your podcast. Links are in the description. Thank you and bye-bye.